This is a 2012 iMac. This thing is a cracked screen, an upgraded CPU, and an NVIDIA GT640M. And in this video, we're going to see how well it performs, what it can run, and if it's still usable 13 years later. I got this thing from Facebook Marketplace 4 years ago for £40. The only thing that was wrong with it is the cracked screen, and it had a failing hard drive in it. So what I did is I opened this thing up and put a 480GB SSD in it. Then 3 years after that, the power supply failed, so I put a new one of them in. And because this screen is glued on, I sort of had to pry the old double-sided tape off. But whilst I was opening this screen, because I use really strong double-sided tape, I sort of cracked the screen up there whilst trying to pry it off. And whilst I was in there, I was like, I might as well install 16GB of RAM and replace the thermal paste. But whilst I was doing that, the CPU fell out of alignment and it sort of bent upwards. So this thing was, well, useless. I mean, it's only a Core i5 anyway. So I put this one in the bin and I replaced it with an Intel Core i7. And then updated it to the most recent version of macOS using OpenCore Patcher, because Apple stopped supporting this thing 6 years ago. And through the 4 years of owning this thing, this was my regular computer. Then it had Windows 10 on it and, well, my dad used it for a bit. Then it was my sister's computer to edit videos on. And now it's back on this table as decoration. So now you sort of know what's happened with this thing. Let's have a look at the condition it's in. You can see some of the glue, what I haven't wiped off fully from when I replaced the screen. The screen does need replacing, but it's not really worth it on these old things because it costs more than the actual computer. There are some scratches here and some couple things here because this thing was left in the wardrobe for a bit as storage because there was pretty much no use for it. So there's some slight scuffs here as well, and when I first got it, this power button was a bit offside, so I had to sort of push that back into place. Now it actually clicks. There's tape on it because these LED lights were taped to the back of this, so it can sort of reflect it off the wall. Now down here there are a couple of slight dings, but if you look at it from a distance, it still looks alright. The whole body of this iMac is also made out of alloy, so it's quite good at dissipating the heat. The back does get a little bit hot whilst it's been running for a while, but I don't think you'll notice it. And to be fair, for a 13-year-old computer, this thing still looks quite new. The screen is 21.5 inches, you can probably see it there. And it is the late 2012 model. This screen is a 1080p panel, and from here, it still looks quite decent. This thing is quite colour accurate, so you can do a bit of photo editing on this. And also, the speakers have quite a lot of bass to them. So now that we've had a look around this thing, we're going to run a little benchmark on it. Let's see what the CPU scores in this benchmark. And as well as that, we're going to compare the score to this 2011 MacBook Pro with an Intel Core i7, but this one's got 2 cores and this one's got 4 cores. So this was top of the range at its time, and this was sort of top of the, well, it wasn't really top of the range actually. It had a Core i5, but it should perform similar to the top of the range one. And then once these two scores have done, we're going to be comparing them so we can see if it's worth getting an iMac over a MacBook Pro. Right, so I think the hard drive is failing in this thing, so I can't really load it. So what I did instead was I put it on this 2020 MacBook Pro. This thing has an M1 chip and 16 gigs of RAM, and this is the score that it got: 2,394 single core, and that's quite a good multi-core. That was on this small MacBook Pro, and this iMac only got 817 on the single core and, well, that much on the multi-core. So that one is pretty much, what, 2 times quicker than this one? So now we know how the CPU will perform. Let's see what the GPU can do. I don't know what any of that means, but it's on. Let's also do the same for this MacBook Pro. I think they're running the same thing. They might be, I don't know. Yeah, but we'll see what that does. Okay, so the scores have just came back. This iMac has a GPU score of 3,103, whilst this 2020 MacBook Pro has a GPU score of 21,648. So this thing is about 8 times faster than this thing in GPU performance. Anyways, ignoring all this stuff, let's see what games this thing can run. So we're going to start off light with a bit of Roblox. You know what, we're going to go straight for Car Crushers 2. This game is sort of demanding-ish, so it's probably going to lag, but we're about to find out. Let's just let the game load in for a bit. Okay, so, oh, bit of a lag spike there. Let's turn the graphics on full. Oh, there you go. Okay, we're getting 22 FPS on full graphic. Yeah, it is laggy. 16 FPS. Okay, yeah, alright, yeah, it's not really playable on full graphics. Let's change it to low graphics. To be fair, it's 60 FPS. Yeah, it doesn't look the best, but we're getting 60 FPS. Let's put it just over half. Alright, so we're getting about 40, 45. Not really playable over half. Let's try it on 3. This should be alright. Constantly getting 60 FPS, which is quite good. Oh, okay, it's dropping a bit. Oh, Roblox is playable on this thing on low settings, so if you want to use it for Roblox, then you might as well get yourself one of these. Alright, so now we're on Happy Wheels. How do we make this big screen? Oh. Alright, that was easy. Oh, hello. What's this? Let's be this guy. Oh, okay. Oh. How do I... Oh, what's happened? Okay, am I meant to do this? Alright, let's play... Alright, oh, okay. Well, I assume we have to get away from this thing. I've got attractive for some reason. Okay, oh, alright. Well, that's not ideal. Are we meant to do this? I think if we do a wheelie, it goes quicker. Nope, okay, it don't. Well, playing Happy Wheels, it gets about 30 FPS, which I think is the maximum you can get anyway. Oh, the end's literally there. So now we've tested it on Happy Wheels, let's turn the internet off. Oh, why is it froze? Open... So this Chrome Dinosaur game, I mean, it's running quite well. Why you start slower on? Yeah, there you go. Alright, we've turned that off. Don't want to go slow, do we? Oh, okay. Look at this. I'll say we're getting max frames on this. Look at that. That is... Pretty much anything can run this, but, you know. Oh, alright. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's see how well it can run Fireboy and Water Girl. Oh, how do we do this? There we go. You are meant to have 2 plays for this, but... Oh, let's at least try and beat this first level. Do one at a time. I literally jumped. Speedrun this. Has anyone ever speedrun Fireboy and Water Girl? Look at this. Completed the first level. It runs smoothly apart from when you get all these like 50 ads on this thing. Right, so now that we've done all that stuff, let's empty my bin. And let's try and edit a 4K video in Final Cut Pro. When I say edit, I mean I'm just going to drag a load of files onto it and see what happens. You do get this notification saying editing stuff with 4K or larger resolution isn't recommended on this computer. But, you know, we'll be alright. How do we zoom out? Let's just drag all these on. This is from the video I'm recording now. Should we try and export it? Let's just do some simple cutting. So let's just, you know what? This thing is actually handling it quite well. Oh, what's happened? I think I rage quit. I did not mean to do that. Let's just try and export this. The video's 3 hours long. How do we export? I forgot. It's there, isn't it? 710 gigs? There we go, that's more like it. We'll see what that does. Yeah, we'll save it under that. Let me export it somewhere else then. I could export it to a DVD. Okay, it's not letting me export this video. I don't know why. 4K 25 FPS video editing should be alright, but I wouldn't recommend going for the 60 FPS. Or if you're just editing 1080p video, this thing will be more than enough for that. So now that we've done all that, let's go onto Google Chrome and let's see how many tabs we can open till it stops working. Just gonna open a load of these files, all these tabs. Okay, let's see what this does. It's still going. We are using 12 gigs of RAM. Let's just wait for a bit. We'll open a few more tabs and then we'll see what happens. Alright, so this thing's still struggling after about 10 minutes of it being on. So that's gonna be it for this video. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see you next week. Transition.